In this growth hack, we're going to articulate your customer and brand value in the best way to your audiences by developing impactful propositions and compelling prose. Before you can shout your story from the rooftops, you need to do some work to qualify, hone, sharpen, and articulate your customer value. It might seem a bit obvious, but when looking to reaffirm the value your business brings to its customers, there's really no better way to determine that value than by sitting down with them and listening to what they have to say. An excellent way of learning new things about your business is to immerse yourself in the attitudes, behaviours and preferences of your customers by getting out of the office and spending some time talking to them. It really will surprise you how many people are happy to invest time with you and answer your questions about their business, their perceptions of your business, and if you're genuinely interested in what they have to say and you ask them nicely for a conversation without an agenda, try doing it, and I have to tell you, it's always worked for me. One of the challenges in gathering insight from customers is often they will answer questions posed by a company based on their understanding of what the individual asking the questions wants to know and what they should already know about them as a customer. And this can really distort the feedback. And that's why sometimes it pays to have a third party working with you to be asking the questions while you can listen independent of the conversation. I've spent many hours in rooms with chief executives and their customers asking questions to those customers to get the answers that my clients wanted to hear. Almost inevitably, those CEOs will say it's one of the best activities they've ever done. The rewards that can be gained from listening to customers extend beyond what you're expecting. Very often you get great insight into what's happening in the market, what your other competitors are doing, what opportunities exist for new products and new services that you haven't even thought of yet. If you are leading a B2B startup, you probably already know what your customer proposition looks like, or at least you know what a good prospect looks like. If you are very fortunate, you have good answers to both. In this module, we're going to dig deeper into how to refine your offer using the latest methods professional marketeers use to achieve the best results. It will give you the upper hand in the battle for hearts and minds you are just about to begin. Your best offer is, by definition, the one that's most influential in leveraging your economic engine to produce wealth for your enterprise. You may have more than one product or service, and in such cases, you might want to review which offers you the biggest benefits in driving your economic engine. These are two of the most useful marketing methods to help in this task. The SWOT diagram stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. A SWOT matrix helps businesses to compose a realistic picture of the health of their offerings by sorting them into 4 labelled quadrants. On a single page, your team can build up a picture of the state of health of your customer offerings. As such, it highlights competitive differentiation and goes some way to expose the most influential products and services in your portfolio, framing priorities for improvement. Another tool you could use is the Boston Consulting Group matrix. The BCG matrix is used to analyse the health of product lines. Mapping your offerings in these quadrants is a very useful way to determine which ones contribute most to your economic engine. The chart looks at products grouped into 4 quadrants. Stars. These are products that are in high growth markets with a relatively high share of that market. Stars tend to be those that generate the highest amounts of income. cash cows. These are products with a high share of a slow growth market. Cash cows generate more than is invested in them. Question marks. These are products with a slow share of a high growth market. They consume resources and generate little return. No surprise then that they're called question marks. And finally we have dogs. These are products with a low share of a low growth market. They do not generate cash for the company, they simply absorb it. Pragmatic marketing is a system used by a large community of product and solutions marketeers around the world to bring together the knowledge and understanding needed to perfect product launches and effectively manage the product life cycle from cradle to grave. Adopting pragmatic marketing methods will help your team to hone product offers, appreciate competitive landscapes, and deliver the right product content at the right time. Here's an example of all of the categories that are contained within the pragmatic marketing model. You can use it to frame your filing system of all the things that you're going to need to drive your marketing forward. Markets today are changing rapidly. Technology provides the opportunity to adapt business models and gain the upper hand through disruption. These blue ocean markets offer victors the opportunity of dynamic growth. For businesses floundering in highly congested red ocean markets, drifting into a blue ocean appeals. The Eliminate, Reduce, Raise, Create grid, developed by the authors of Blue Ocean Strategy, is a simple matrix-like tool that drives companies to focus simultaneously on features that allow the elimination and reduction of undesirables, as well as raising and creating value to customers, while unlocking new blue ocean disruptive possibilities. It helps marketeers profile their offer against the points of competition that exist in the market. When I talk about points of competition, I'm referring to those things that customers use as mechanisms to determine value. Price, availability, time to value, speed, service, engagement. All of these things combine to build a matrix of the key factors of competition within a market. Ultimately, the purpose of this method is to describe the products and services that customers really want by systematically discovering why the customer needs a supplier, what the customer can perceive as extra value, and what the customer finds annoying or disadvantageous. Through the use of this analysis, organizations can identify and articulate custom needs. As the result, they're able to design a value proposition that better reflects their customer requirements, pain relievers, and gain creators. A useful methodology created to determine opportunities in blue ocean markets is the Blue Ocean Strategy. And specifically, the Blue Ocean Strategy canvas has proven itself useful when a company is trying to understand its competitive positioning in red ocean markets. It's possible to frame the most important features of competition by adopting this method. The canvas allows you to compare and contrast your own business against competitive rivals, ordered by the competitive pillars that you've defined. When designing new business models, organizations are inclined to forget to look from the perspective of their customers and instead adopt an inside-out looking view of the world. If you really want to maximize the performance of your business through its value to customers, you really need to look outside in from the perspective of the customer. Let's talk about proposition statements. Your proposition documents preach your story and your value to stakeholders. Propositions can be developed for your business, for a service area, or specific product or service. Not to be confused with business proposals, your business proposition tells the story of your value to your stakeholder audience. It is a foundational communication document that forms the basis of all brand communications across the marketing mix, that takes the essence of your business articulated in the fewest possible words. When copywriting your proposition, try to avoid industry terms or three-letter acronyms. It's wrong to assume that every person in that market actually understands the same terms that you do. Even if you may have a similar culture, skills, and background to the people that you're targeting, do remember that on average, decisions are made by up to 6 decision influencers in a business context. So that means you've got 5 other people with different backgrounds that need to understand your message. A well-written business proposal should be clear, concise, and persuasive, with a focus on the benefits that the proposer solution will provide to the potential customer, investor, or partner. It should also be tailored to the specific needs and interests of the target audience. The biggest mistake generally made is to say too much in a proposition. As humans, we need packets of information fed to us in small amounts to allow us to build our knowledge. And the first part of any communication, for that reason, needs to be very concise and very short. You can progressively build out your story through multiple touch points and communications contacts. The essential message is, try not to say everything you want to say all at once. Another typical challenge is when you have so many features and benefits and capabilities that you want to purvey, that you find that your list of benefits becomes too large. One of the best tools that I use is to believe that everything good comes in threes. And if you can come up with 3 compelling, mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive points about your product and offer, it's going to help you to convey your message in a simpler way that will resonate more with your customers. These are the typical things I'd expect to see in a proposition statement. First, outline your original thought. What was the original thought that began your enterprise, the mountain that you are trying to climb? Secondly, describe your brand ambition and vision. Where is your business going? What does the outcome of success look like? Thirdly, what job are you helping your customers to do better? This moves to the job to be done methods that we covered, and it's important to outline this value so that customers can understand instantly how you help to solve their problems, and specifically, which problem are you solving? Next, summarize the value you bring to customers in 1 paragraph. Not how you deliver that value or the mechanism, but what the outcome is that they receive. One useful tool to help you with this is what we call a proposition canvas. This essentially examines the features and benefits of your product and then maps it against the pains, gains and jobs that your customers could see as valuable. Next, put together a 3-line proposition, 3 phrases Again, mutually exclusive, collectively exhaustive of one another, that provide a summary of what your offer is about. A proposition statement would not be complete without recognising the competitors that you are competing against in the market you serve. It's quite important for people reading your content to be able to compare and contrast your offer with other companies in a similar market. That isn't necessarily a negative thing, because after all, if you didn't have competition, then you wouldn't have a marketplace for your product. There has to be competition in every market you serve. And what you're doing is highlighting the competitors that exist, but also hopefully highlighting the benefits that you bring above and beyond their offers. One of the ways to do this is the competitive Venn diagram that we described earlier. And finally, spend some time explaining what makes your business different, what some people describe as a unique selling proposition. Not every business has a completely different proposition to offer than their competitors. That's not common in mature markets. But what you can definitely do is play to your strengths. If you're a small company dealing against larger rivals, then talk about your agility, your flexibility, your responsiveness, knowing full well that larger businesses don't have that level of flex in their business processes. If you're a larger business with lots of experience in the market, then again you can play on those strengths too. When it comes to your proposition, buyers don't need to know the full backstory from day one when you were born. Generally, they want the short form version that explains to them who you serve, what you do, what your offer is, the problem you solve, and the value that you bring to them. If you have a challenge expressing your proposition in a short form way for sales and marketing, one technique you can use is Geoffrey Moore's elevator pitch method. This famous author of one of the most famous business books ever came up with this useful approach to distilling value propositions into an elevator pitch, or in England we call it a lift statement. So called because you're meant to be able to convey your message to a CEO while you're travelling between floors on a lift. It goes like this: for target audience, who, description of the undesirable situation, our product is, the new product category, that, what the product does, the outcome it brings, unlike alternative solutions, and our product, how it solves the need better than alternatives. So for this audience who have this problem, the product is that does this, unlike other solutions, our product does this. Have a go filling in your Geoffrey Moore pitch with the proposition statement that we've been working through. You need to test your pitch. It's an important step, so don't miss it out. But how do you test your pitch to make sure it hammers home with your audience? Without question, your best route to making sure your pitch conveys the message you want to impart to customers is to gather up a group of them together in a room and produce a focus group. It's desirable, yes, but that's not always affordable or possible. So what are your alternatives? There are a few other options you can consider. You could consider inviting your network of contacts connected with your industry to a small event, giving you an audience of peers to pitch to. If you're early into your launch, think about a focus group. If you're about to launch or are ready to step into a new market, try a launch party. Third-party sounding board companies and services. Check online and you'll find a host of companies, groups and individuals that offer up the opportunity for you to pitch to them. Some of these are free, others not without obligations the other way, so it pays to check the small print. Nevertheless, these are good opportunities to rehearse your proposition. Accelerator groups and programs. There are many different professional groups, some funded by industry, others by government, that exist to help startups to grow. Many of these organisations will offer up the opportunity for you to pitch to them. You could choose to tap into professional and industry groups, either connected with your subject of interest or operating in your locality. Normally, there will be professional communities and government-run organisations happy to have you join in their local networking soirees.